All right, hello everyone. Welcome to my Cars and Bids auction for this 2017 Range Rover Supercharged. This is the 5-liter V8 supercharged engine. Honestly, one of my favorite engines that Land Rover has used. I just think it's a great engine. Minus a few of its flaws, but with this vehicle, all that's been taken care of. Haven't owned it too long, purchased in February of 26 from a local friend who owns a used car dealership here in town. Right when I bought it, I test drove it. I could tell it had a few mechanical issues. I could tell basically that the head gaskets needed doing. It kind of had that smell to it. And then when you're in there doing that, you might as well do a bunch of other things. So I had actually bought this to increase some money. I sold a new Range Rover, 2025, long wheelbase one, and sold that to fund some renovations on my house, and had expected to keep it a little bit longer. Not going to do a cold start right now because she did a morning school run with my kids, but just got her cleaned up because we're about to do some photographs for the auction. But I had expected to keep this a lot longer, so that's why I had done a few things that I probably wouldn't have typically done, like it has 4 new Michelin cross-climate tires. They have 2 26 date codes on all 4. Wonderful winter and summer tire if this car is going to stay in the East. It was night and day when I put these tires on. My wife, who drives a 2019 Range Rover, has the Goodyear version of these, and I could tell back in February and March during snowstorms, she would be cruising down our driveway, no issues. I would come in behind her and I'd be slipping and sliding with the Continental, I think there was Continental like all seasons on here. So if this car is staying on the East, it's got the snowflake symbol on these tires. These are amazing tires in snow. And like I said, night and day between all seasons and these, if she's staying in the Northeast. This is a southern car for most of its life, luckily, so really no rust issues. Once that I finish working on this Jaguar up on the lift, I will take some underside photos. If they're not in the auction from the start, they will be posted during the auction. But very, very clean car. And I'm selling her because I threw in a bid on a '02 Range Rover recently. It was a limited edition Rhino version. And just kind of threw in a bid a few days before the auction, and I bid a few times. And a couple days went by. I didn't really think much of it. I didn't think my bid was too serious, and I wound up winning the auction. So personally, I'd rather drive that generation of Range Rover. I've owned every generation of Range Rover, and the P38s are some of my favorites. The less screens, the better in my world. I want buttons. I want real gauges. But this is a great car. So let's point out some imperfections here and get started. No, there are some. She's not perfect. She looks great for her age. A little imperfection right here in the dash. You can definitely feel that. It is an indentation. A couple right here. Obviously, you have some along your front, along your Range Rover logo. Just from driving down the freeway. But nothing major, no accidents in this car's history. You got a few chips on the hood. One right here, one right here. Looks really, really good for a 9-year-old car. 67,000 miles. The rims are in really nice shape, all 4. I'm really embarrassed with the floor in my garage here. I apologize. This Land Rover had to rescue an ATV on my property and track some mud back in. Rims are in really nice shape. I do not know if they've ever been redone or anything. I should be going in order here. The rear driver's side door, you do have obviously a chip right here in the paint. And then if you catch the angle just right, you have a few dents along in here. I really think a PDR, paintless dent removal, could probably do wonders on those if someone was so inclined. Another little imperfection in the paint right there. There's a few right here and here. Little chip in the driver door. Driver door, no dents that I can see. Little scratch here. Another little imperfection here. Mirrors are in really nice shape. Windshields, no chips or anything. Let's move back to the quarter here. A couple imperfections here and here. Roof is in nice shape. Rear is in nice shape. You do have this seal here starting to, see some weathering and damage. It is not leaking. No water comes in during car washes or anything like that. But nevertheless, it is there. Got a little scratch down here. Trying to see some of this. No, this is stuck on there. That's just dirt. Little imperfection there. Let's move down here. You do have a scrape right here. That's dirt. More dirt. I'm gonna dry this. She's gonna have photos and professional photos in a few hours, so trying to keep it to look nice. Looks like someone, not me, ran into something here. So this is scraped. You can feel that little dent in there. But you got to get up close. You get just that far away and you don't see it. Little imperfection right there, and another one right here. We got some more water up here. On the passenger side, I am not aware of any dents like on the other side. Someone did touch up some paint here. You can see it touched up a little bit. Same here and here. Not a great touch-up job. Don't know who did it. Looking, passenger front looks really nice. I'm trying to, right here, little scratches. I can't even feel these, so I think some of these, this car has not been waxed, buffed, paint corrected in my ownership. I think if that were done, a lot of what I've pointed out would come out. You do have a scratch right here. Again, you can't feel that. And nothing really else. Show you these rims. Look very nice. And this side here, very nice. And let's do a little inside tour. I will have separate driving videos, cold start video, and everything. You do have some wear points on some of these doors. This one actually is pretty good. Seats are really nice. However, this passenger seat, let's see if I can find it. Right here, you have a scratch in the leather. You do have this, it's the piano black paint. It is cracked right here. But again, for 9 years old, 60 some thousand miles, in really, really nice shape. Obviously you got the panoramic roof, heated and cooled seats. And everything works. Obviously I'll have a receipt. So most major wear point on the interior is the driver's door right here. You really can't feel any of this. It's just, the color has worn. Excuse the mess. I was kind of moving some of my stuff when I was cleaning. Carpets are in pretty good shape. If this stays in the Northeast, I would probably get rubber mats. As you can see here, 67,670 miles. Front driver's seat looks really, really nice. Few imperfections. You do have a dent in the aluminum right there. But she looks really, really great. You have the rear seat entertainment in this car. You have heated and cooled rear seats as well. And you know, this car is really ready to go. Little chip here, imperfection, can't feel it. So none of this is dirt. It's just a few imperfections, but nothing insane for the age of the car. There is no cargo mat back here. You do have a spare. I always keep a air compressor and battery charger with me. These work. I'm not going to do them all the way because they move the front seats and screw them up. That's what I hate about this generation of Range Rover. But everything works, folds down as it should. All windows work. And a lot of that stuff I'll demonstrate on a driving video. A couple more imperfections on the interior here, but nothing crazy. A lot of media ports with the rear seat entertainment. You got HDMI, USBs, and like I said, heated and cooled seats in the rear. Everything works. Heated seats, cooled seats. And I think we did the passenger side, forgive me. So, you know, that's really the walk around, all the imperfections. She looks great for a 9-year-old car. I think it shows very well. If you're curious about city mileage, I can have a heavier foot, but I get about 12 miles per gallon in the city. I'd say 15, 16 at best on the highway. These supercharged V8s are not fuel efficient. But when, I don't know what this MSRP'd for in 2017, probably just shy of 100 grand. I think someone who bought a 100 grand car would not really notice. Thing looks pretty nice under the hood. I will start it. We can listen to the engine right now, but this is not going to be a cold start. Everything comes on as it should. That red triangle is just indicating that the hood is open. Within the engine, like I was saying, head gaskets were done, spark plugs were done, did multiple fluid changes, a driveline service. Because the head gaskets were done, we did upgrade, and you will see it on the receipt. We did upgrade those crossover coolant pipes, front and rear in the engine, or upper and lower, I can't remember on this engine. But, you know, that was really the biggest issue with these cars. They had these plastic crossover coolant pipes. They'd crack, break. They hadn't cracked or broke on this car. But while they're in there doing those head gaskets, why not do them? So they do have the upgraded Land Rover metal crossover pipes. And that is really one of the biggest Achilles heels with this car. Head gaskets done. A lot of other work, suspension work was done. I talked the guy down because I could tell that she needed a few things. But great car. I've had no issues with it. Let's see, 67,670, and when I bought it, it was 66,630. So I put a little over 1,000 miles, or just shy, no, a little over 1,000 miles. And you know, she drove when I bought it. I could just tell there was some neglected maintenance on it. So nothing more like that. Separate cold start and driving videos to come. And thanks for looking at the auction.